I am lonely and you are somewhere between a memory and a miracle, breathing in a world that does not know my name the way you did. I am lonely and you are a distant star pretending not to see the darkness learning my shape. I am lonely and you are the echo inside my empty room, a whisper brushing the walls at midnight. I am lonely and you are a heartbeat I cannot touch, a promise that forgot my hands. I wake before the sun just to feel the cold side of the bed where your warmth once argued with winter. The ceiling has memorized my silence. The window waits for footsteps that never climb the stairs. My shadow asks me questions I cannot answer without breaking. It stretches long across the floor like it is trying to reach you. I am lonely and you are the reason the moon feels heavier tonight. The clock ticks like a stubborn witness, reminding me that time moves even when love stands still. I pour 2 cups of tea by mistake, then drink them both as if I could swallow your absence. The mirror reflects a stranger, eyes swollen with unsent messages, lips rehearsing apologies you will never hear. I am lonely and you are a horizon that keeps walking away. The wind carries your name through streets that do not care, tangles in my hair and leaves me trembling. There is a chair across from mine that holds the shape of your ghost. I talk to it sometimes, pretending it answers. I am lonely and you are a silence louder than thunder. Do you remember how laughter once built a house around us? Now the roof leaks stars and I drown in their cold light. My phone glows in the dark like a false sunrise. Every notification is a disappointment wearing someone else's name. I am lonely and you are a dream that refuses to wake beside me. The nights stretch long and thin, like threads pulled from a torn heart. I wrap them around my fingers until they cut. Sometimes I walk past places where we once stood too close, and the air tightens as if it still belongs to us. I am lonely and you are a story I keep rereading even though the ending never changes. The rain taps on my window with gentle cruelty. Each drop says, "She is not here." I lie awake counting regrets instead of sheep. They multiply faster than sleep. I am lonely and you are somewhere breathing freely while I borrow air from memories. I wonder if you ever pause in the middle of your day and feel something missing without knowing it is me. The sun rises without permission. It paints my room in gold but cannot color the emptiness between my ribs. I am lonely and you are the color I cannot name anymore. There was a time when your hand fit into mine like destiny practicing its signature. Now my fingers curl around nothing and call it strength. I walk through crowded streets invisible among faces. Everyone has somewhere to be, someone to return to. I am lonely and you are the address I no longer recognize. The wind opens old doors in my mind. Behind them, you are laughing, turning toward me as if forever is a simple word. But forever was fragile. It shattered quietly under the weight of reality. I am lonely and you are a constellation rearranged by fate's careless hands. I keep your name folded inside my chest like a letter never sent. If I unfold it, the ink bleeds sorrow. If I keep it hidden, it burns. I am lonely and you are a question mark at the end of my heartbeat. The bed feels like a desert. My pillow tastes of salt. I build castles out of hope only to watch them sink in the dark. Do you ever miss the way my voice softened when I said your name? I am lonely and you are a melody I hum without sound. The stars blink above me indifferent to human ache. They have seen lovers lose each other for centuries. Still, I wish one would fall just to prove that something else breaks too. I am lonely and you are the gravity pulling my tears downward. Morning comes again, uninvited and bright. I dress in courage that does not fit. The world greets me politely, unaware of the ruins I carry behind my smile. I am lonely and you are the missing chapter in my day. I pass by mirrors carefully. They reveal too much truth. They show the hollow where your laughter once lived. At night, I replay our last goodbye frame by fragile frame. Your eyes said something your lips refused to translate. I am lonely and you are a locked door without a key. I try to blame destiny. It is easier than blaming you. It is easier than blaming myself for loving too deeply. The truth sits heavy. We were real, but real is not always enough. I am lonely and you are proof that love can survive even when it has nowhere to go. The moon climbs higher, a silent companion. I whisper to it, tell her I am still here. It does not answer, but it stays. I am lonely and you are the reason I still look up. Sometimes I imagine you standing at my door, regret shining in your eyes like morning dew. I rehearse what I would say, then I rehearse saying nothing at all. I am lonely and you are a possibility I cannot bury. The seasons change their clothes. Summer forgets us. Autumn collects our fallen promises. Winter wraps me in white sorrow. Spring dares to whisper hope. I am lonely and you are every season at once. Warm and distant, familiar and gone. If love were a language, I would be fluent in longing. If silence were a home, I would own every room. I am lonely and you are the only visitor I desire. My heart still keeps your place, dusting it gently with remembrance. It refuses to evict you, even when pain demands it. I am lonely and you are a light seen from across the ocean. And though waves of doubt crash against my ribs, some fragile part of me believes that distance is not the end. Maybe one day the wind will change direction. Maybe your steps will wander back to the door I never locked. Until then, I am lonely and you are the echo that makes my loneliness sing that I am lonely and you are still the unfinished sentence at the edge of my breath. The night leans closer to listen as I confess to the dark that I have not learned how to live without your shadow. I am lonely and you are the shadow teaching me how heavy light can be. I keep the curtains half open, afraid of total darkness, afraid of too much dawn. Both remind me of the way you used to arrive softly, then all at once. I am lonely and you are a sunrise that chose another horizon. My hands remember you. They move sometimes as if tracing the outline of your face in invisible air. They close gently, cradling nothing. I am lonely and you are the warmth that refuses to return to these trembling palms. There are songs I cannot hear anymore. They carry your laughter between their notes. Every melody bends toward you, and I bend with it. I am lonely and you are the chorus my heart repeats without permission. In crowded rooms, I search for your posture, your way of standing as if the world were temporary but we were permanent. Now permanence feels like a rumor. I am lonely and you are the rumor I keep believing. The sky tonight is restless. Clouds drift like unsent letters. I imagine writing your name across them so even the heavens must acknowledge what I lost. I am lonely and you are written everywhere I look but nowhere I can reach. Sometimes I blame the stars for shining on us too brightly. Maybe we mistook their glare for eternity. I am lonely and you are a constellation I memorized only to watch it scatter. My voice has grown quieter. It no longer argues with fate. It simply carries your name like a fragile glass through crowded days. I am lonely and you are the echo that makes it tremble. The bed still has your side. I have not crossed into it. It feels sacred like a temple of what was. I am lonely and you are the prayer I whisper into empty sheets. Rain comes again, presses its forehead against my window. I let it cry for me when my own tears grow tired. I am lonely and you are the storm I cannot outrun. There is a photograph turned face down on my desk. I do not need to see it. Your smile is carved into the walls of my memory. I am lonely and you are the sculptor of my quiet ache. Do you still walk with that slight tilt of your head when you are thinking? Do you still pause before crossing a street, as if listening to destiny? I am lonely and you are somewhere making new habits that do not include me. This thought bruises gently, not violently, but steadily. I am lonely and you are healing in a place where my name does not echo. I try to imagine you happy. The image flickers. It should comfort me. Instead, it stings. I am lonely and you are a happiness I no longer hold. The moonlight spills across the floor. I step into it, hoping it has traveled from where you stand. I am lonely and you are under the same sky, yet galaxies apart. My heartbeat counts the distance. Each thud says, still, still, still. I am lonely and you are still the one my heart calls. If love is stubborn, then I am its proof. I have tried to loosen my grip, but your memory slides back into my hands. I am lonely and you are the reason I cannot let go. I have learned how to smile in public, how to answer questions without revealing the fracture. But when night returns, it lifts the mask gently. I am lonely and you are the truth beneath my quiet face. I speak to you sometimes as if you are beside me. I tell you about my day, the small victories, the silent defeats. I am lonely and you are the listener I invent to survive. If you ever feel a sudden chill, perhaps it is my longing passing by. If you ever pause mid-laugh, perhaps it is my name brushing your thoughts. I am lonely and you are the possibility that I am not forgotten. But even if you have moved on, even if my shadow no longer fits beside yours, even if the road has erased our footprints, I am lonely and you are still the chapter one refused to tear from my book. Because loving you was not a mistake. It was a season wild, bright, and unforgiving. I am lonely and you are the season that changed my climate. One day, perhaps, the ache will soften. It will become a quiet scar instead of an open sky. Until then, I am lonely and you are the distant light I walk toward even if I never arrived. I am lonely and you are the horizon that keeps its distance no matter how far I wander. The road beneath my feet knows my hesitation. It feels the weight of every step taken without your hand in mine. I am lonely and you are the handprint time could not erase. There are evenings when the sky blushes in pink and gold, and I almost believe it is shy because it remembers us. We once stood beneath colors like that, swearing that beauty meant forever. Now beauty feels temporary, like everything else. I am lonely and you are the forever that dissolved into a fragile yesterday. My heart has become a quiet house. The windows are open, but no one knocks. The floors creak with memories walking back and forth. I am lonely and you are the only guest it waits for. Sometimes I sit in the dark without turning on a single light. I let the shadows speak. They tell stories of your laughter, of the way you used to say my name as if it belonged to you. I am lonely and you are the owner of syllables that no longer exist. I tried to rearrange my life, moved the furniture of my thoughts, painted the walls with distractions, opened new windows of routine. But your absence still sits in the center of the room. I am lonely and you are the space nothing else can fill. The wind outside grows impatient. It rattles the door as if urging me forward. But forward feels like betrayal when backward still holds your face. I am lonely and you are the direction I cannot forget. There are nights when I dream of you returning. Not dramatically, just quietly, standing in the doorway with tired eyes and soft regret. I wake before you speak. I am lonely and you are the sentence my dreams refuse to finish. The world keeps spinning with indifferent grace. People fall in love. People move on. People forget. I stand still in the middle of it, holding on to something invisible. I am lonely and you are the invisible thread tied around my pulse. I wonder if you ever feel it tug. A sudden ache. A small storm in your chest without reason. Perhaps that is me, thinking of you too loudly. I am lonely and you are unaware of the volume of my heart. I have written letters I will never send. They live in drawers, folded carefully like fragile wings. Each one begins the same way. I still remember. I am lonely and you are the memory that refuses to fade. Even when I try to be strong, strength cracks. It reveals the softness beneath, the part of me that still believes in us. I am lonely and you are the belief I cannot silence. The stars feel colder lately. They shimmer without comfort. Once they looked like witnesses. Now they look like strangers. I am lonely and you are the only star I recognize. If I could gather all my longing into a single breath, it would become a storm. It would travel across oceans and find you. But longing is quiet, travels only within me. I am lonely and you are the destination it never reaches. Time moves differently now. Minutes stretch like empty highways. Hours collapse into regret. Days blur into one question: why? I am lonely and you are the answer that never arrived. Perhaps love was not meant to stay forever. Perhaps it was meant to teach us something about vulnerability and loss. If that is true, then I have learned deeply. I am lonely and you are the lesson written across my heart. Sometimes I sit by the window and watch people pass. I imagine each one carrying their own hidden ache. Comforts me slightly, knowing loneliness is not mine alone. Still, I am lonely and you are the shape my loneliness takes. If one day our paths cross again, Will we recognize each other beyond the scars? Will your eyes soften? Will my voice tremble? I am lonely, and you are the possibility I rehearse in quiet moments. Until that day, or until acceptance finally blooms, I will carry this love gently, not as a wound, but as proof that I once felt something vast. I am lonely, and you are the vastness that changed me forever. And even if the world writes new chapters for us, even if our names belong to different stories, I am lonely, and you are still the most beautiful line I have ever known.